in the meanwhile, as we spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, atop of the red Terran player representing Team Samsung Galaxy, it is Journey.
Journey. I like that name, Journey.
It's a good
Pretty
band.
awesome name. Of course, his opponent in the top right-hand location. Your blue Zerg player, Hydra, from Root Gaming. Two very high-level players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
both
Hydra actually recently qualifying for WCS America. Also.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I think he took out Pultz. Actually, fun, like really weird fact, not even fun fact, it's actually like scary. Pultz has not been able to qualify for WCS America because he got knocked out by Hydra the first time. And I think, who was it that knocked him out the second time? It was Kane, actually. Kane knocked him out the second qualifier, and there have only been 2 qualifiers. There's only 2 left over.
Whoa.
So, pretty strong players that we've actually seen here today.
I suppose I'll have to try to qualify.
Yeah, I mean,
when are the next 2?
You gotta knock Pult out. I think it's on the 14th and the 15th. So coming up in next couple of days.
Oh.
But I mean, you gotta knock
you
Pult out of one of
though,
those.
don't you?
So.
You have to be masters.
Yeah. The ladder's locked too, so I don't know if you get. Oh, look at this.
I'm like a 14-time masters. I was masters for so long.
Oh,
but
that's so
life
annoying.
gets in the way sometimes because you got to make paychecks and stuff, so you can't play games. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, we see. Is that a barracks down there?
Barracks on the low ground. Yeah, so just a really cute maneuver. This is like something that I think Journey's trying to do, where if Hydra goes for the Overlord Scout, he'll see, wait a second, your barracks is not at your wall in. He'll go into the main base and say, where's your barracks? And start wondering and possibly overreacting to, you know, some kind of proxy 2 racks or something.
I like this. I've always been a fan of hiding normalcy. Like as a Protoss player, I don't do this anymore, but like putting a pylon in a gateway just somewhere else against a Terran. So they scout my base, they don't see a pylon in a gateway, and they freak out. That might be a doable strategy in like Platinum and below. I wouldn't necessarily suggest it in Diamond Master and so on, but I like the idea of it. Looks like that's a cool thing. Sending the barracks over just to check to see if there's an Overlord there. Not a huge deal. Not a huge deal at all. Just playing his own style. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And I mean, you can see so far, actually, the Overlord hasn't seen the barracks just quite yet. And, ooh. Well, we have a couple of Zerglings being made. We've got 6 Zerglings already running out across the map, and they could very well actually catch Journey's Marines. Journey going for the gasless expansion, I believe. So he didn't go for any kind of early Reaper or anything like that. And generally you do this if you want to go kill his Overlord, but I mean, with the Zerglings out on the map, they actually may be able to save this.
Let's see. Yeah, 2 Marines not going to be targeting down that Overlord. The Lings trying to get the damage done. Taking out both Marines. Very nicely done. Saves the Overlord. And the game will continue. No GGs. No GGs yet.
We're not at that point in StarCraft where the first mistake is a reason to GG yet. But you know, I really kind of like the almost like the sort of mind games that are going on already, just with the build orders, where we had Journey going for the barracks on the low ground and everything, maybe trying to force Hydra into thinking that this could be some kind of proxy racks or something like that. And then Hydra making the extra 6 Zerglings and sending them straight across the map. Maybe trying to intercept either a Reaper or even just trying to get a cancel off on that command center building. Feels like a barracks CC. And then we ended up seeing the Marines move across the map to try and kill off the Overlord. It's just like the way that things interacted is so interesting to watch.
Yeah, and all of these things, though we may harp on them, they're pretty important. These guys are very high level. Every single unit's going to count, especially at this point in the game. Even these Zerglings, at the natural, you can easily be like, oh, they're just Zerglings, they're not doing much. Well, wow, excuse me.
You see the second factory?
They're trying to deny. They're able to deny mining time, and they're able to get a decent scout off. Did he see?
Oh my God, he saw the second factory Axel toss. Did he see the tech lab? Oh my God, he saw the tech lab building with the second factory there. Hydra should actually know what exactly is coming on. This is a very old build And Axel Sauce, I'm sure you know this one. The mass Blue Flame Hellion build.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Terrifying, especially if you don't scout it. But good news for Hydra is that he scouted it. So reactions are important. Let's see what he does. No, there's no. Is there Roach Warren anywhere? Like I feel like roaches
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
would be
I'm
good.
surprised he's not walling in or anything. Like this could be a really the reason why this is so scary is because there are so many Hellions produced so quickly that, and obviously Blue Flame makes it near impossible for Zerglings to actually be effective against these guys. Which is why Axeltos is saying, why don't we see a Roach Warren? We have a
And
fast Spire coming out,
This is
but I'm
strange.
still worried that the
Not
Hellions will
even
just
extra.
dart in and do
Yeah.
damage anyways.
There's not even extra queens. Like, there's not too many extra
Yeah.
queens. How many queens? Five? 5 queens is great. I mean, only one Spine Crawler. It's not like there's walls up anywhere. So I don't know what's going to stop these Hellions from having a field day and just having a party, a drone roasting party. I don't know what's to stop them from that.
Yep. Zerglings being made, but again, how effective will the Zerglings actually be? Only time will tell. A handful of them going along the bottom left-hand side, and the Hellion's going to be going for a straight run by into the main base, firing up their Blue Flame Hellion shots, but actually they all get surrounded.
Yeah,
What?
trying to... That's...
Wow.
Well, there you go. You don't need a Roach Horn as long as you get a bazillion lings and surround the Hellions. So that certainly did not go how Journey was expecting. 1,300 resources lost to 875 in favor of the Blue Zerg player. So that was perfect. That was perfect for Hydra. Game the wings out, game this round. Next time, if you're the Blue Flame Hellion guy, maybe split up your Hellions a bit, but obviously
Yeah.
you at least want to kill one drone. I don't even know if that happened.
I don't think it did actually. And yeah, taking a look at the units lost tab, no drones were actually killed over there, but now we might see a couple of drones being roasted over here by some of these Hellions. Then, oh, here comes the Hellbats. This is where it does get a little bit scary, but I mean, the Mutals are out now. This is going to be hard to make work.
Yeah, I really like the way Hydra is playing this. It's like
Yeah.
just that decision to be confident enough in his micro ability and in his Zergling play, I suppose. That's huge. I mean, that's a testament to his skill and how good he is. You know, seeing the double tech lab, seeing that your opponent's going for crazy amount of Blue Flame Hellions, and then saying, all right, I'll just micro my Zergling.
Yeah. I mean, Axel Toss, if there's anything that Prima's official guidebook has told me on StarCraft 2, it's that if you want to counter Zerglings, you make Hellions. But that's not what we just saw happen. We saw Zerglings being made to deal with the Hellions, and would just really, as you were saying, great micro, a great surround. He's able to do some fantastic defense. And now, how in the world does Journey play this out? He hasn't added on any additional production facilities, really. So it's hard to say, but I'm wondering if he just decides to go into mech at this point.
Yeah, he's got all his he's got all his 4 gases. Is his third command center down? Okay, his third command center's down, but he hasn't. Okay, well, just now looking at see that third base. So he's going to be aggressive. He's going to try to be aggressive with this army, getting surround. Actually, the Link's doing a decent job, getting a lot of damage done. The Muta's in the mix as well. So his idea here is to get some aggression done, do some pressure, and get a third behind this. You don't want to lose those expensive units though, obviously, because if you're engaging Lings that only cost minerals and you're losing Thors, that's not good trading at all. And the Zerg player is still ahead as far as that trading is concerned, and also the Zerg player is taking a 4th base in the top left hand side. Exactly. So I still think we're mildly even. I mean, I feel like if anyone's ahead, Zerg obviously very slightly.
Yeah.
But it's mech. It's mech from the Terran, which can be very powerful and is a great way to come back.
Yeah, definitely. And we do actually see barracks being thrown down. So kind of interesting. It looks like it's not going to be a hard commitment into mech. He's kind of gone for some of those Thors. It looks like he's more utilizing the Thors as an answer to the Mutals count, make sure that it doesn't get too ridiculous. But Hydra actually, I mean, he's doing some nice harassment over here with the Mutals, but he's actually making roaches behind this. And with all the Banelings also being made, this is going to be so interesting to see how this works.
Road speed about to finish. He's got carapace upgrade on the way as well. Is he gonna try to engage here? I mean, it's a lot of units. It's a lot of units. Certainly, the Thor's gonna be he's gonna try to back those up, split those up a little bit. Vikings coming over, you're gonna try to deal with those mutas, but so many roaches advancing into this third base, picking up the Thor, and there's no way he can defend against that. He's gonna lose a lot of SCVs, picking up the third base. Hydra doing a great job of 187 to 90 in supply, and there's nothing gonna stop him from advancing into the natural expansion there. And there's GG. Wow.
Hydra taking the game after what was I have no other words other than a spectacular defense against the Hellions. And here's the thing. Normally I would think like, oh, maybe it was a bad idea for Journey to try and run those Hellions in there. But he kind of had to at that point, right? Like, was it a question of like maybe you should have split up his Hellions to go to the third and the natural, or like the third and the main? But there was like a timer on that push, right? Because you invest into double factory, you go for blue flame Hellions, you delay a third or like your starport and like everything else from going down to get out this stuff. You have to make something happen with it, right? So I'm not even sure like what the correct response is there for Journey.
I mean, if you don't have the units to deal with it, like you can't engage. I think he knew he was behind from the beginning, so that fast third base or moving that third base out there is certainly a risk. I don't think he spotted all those roaches either until a little bit too late. I think a lot of it comes down to just how well, not necessarily poor play from Journey, but just how well Hydra controlled his Zerglings to be able to take down all those Hellions that were, that's a scary thing. A lot of blue flame Hellions, especially when they have Lings.
Yeah.
But
Lings and Queens.
Hydra's like, you know what? No big deal. I'll just micro my Zerglings properly. Which is great.
Exactly.
It's huge. Yeah.
I don't even know how to make more of that. Yeah, that's actually like it's so funny because I always like talk to players and I say like, why don't more Terran players go for that kind of old blue flame Hellion double factory build and everything? And it's so funny the time that I do see it, like it just gets handled by pure Zerglings, just pure speed Zerglings on creep, and maybe like not even like a large number of queens, right? It was like 4 queens, and there were already 3 bases, so it wasn't like an absurd number of queens or like roaches or anything. And I really, really like the fact that he also dropped down that spire. It seems sort of unintuitive at the time. I was like, are you going to actually have time to get up the spire? But in reality, he did, and the spire was perfect for dealing with the follow-up, the Hellbat push, right? Because that's what that eventually led up into, was the follow-up Hellions. Or, sorry, the Hellbats. Yeah, the follow-up Hellbats. And the Mules just murdered them.
Yeah. I think the sheer amount of roaches, there's just no response. There's no response. So it all started from the Hellions being lost, and then Hydra with the awareness to be like, okay, I did a good amount of damage there. Now I bet I could do a little timing to take advantage of all the damage that I did, because it's simple. It's a very, obviously it's not simple. The first step is defending an attack and defending it well. The next step from there though is the tricky one, which is again taking advantage. I think we talked about that a little bit in Puck versus it was Hearthstone versus
Kane.
Hearthstone versus Kane when the mutas came out, and Hearthstone was able to defend the roach aggression and was able to counter across the map really fast to not allow the muta timing to be effective at all. So a similar thing where shutting down that first engagement and then having the awareness and the skill to come up with a follow-up strategy to identify where on the tech tree your opponent is going, and then to utilize a timing attack that will get the job done. That's exactly what happened.
Indeed. Well, with that being said, we're going to be jumping into game number 2 in this best of 7 series. Want to hear you guys in the chat. Make sure you register so you can talk with us. Who do you want to win? And we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first player up at the top left-hand corner of the map. Merry-go-round. We got representing Samsung Galaxy. It is the blue Terran player, Journey.
And his opponent in the upper right-hand location of the map Merry-Go-Round, we have the red Zerg player. Very exciting Zerg, very skilled, and is currently living in North America, I believe, at the Root House.
Yeah, at the Root House, yeah.
His name is Hydra.
All right. Well, we'll see if we get any kind of funny shenanigans happening this game, Axel Toss. Merry-Go-Round can be a funny map, especially if I think some of my favorite games on this map involve both players going for shenanigans and quite literally living up to the name of Merry-Go-Round. They end up having armies just like passing like two ships in this sailing in the night, not really noticing each other. One goes along like the left-hand side of the map and one goes along the right, and they just realize that they're suddenly in a very awkward base trade. Those are some of my favorite games on this map.
I think the map makers probably made this map with that in mind, too.
Yeah.
But no, you're absolutely right. We'll see what happens here. Of course, Hydra with the advantage, 1-0 advantage in this best of 7. A lot of the last game was because of the decisions that Journey made, because he went for the fast blue from Hellions. So, you know, Hydra could certainly choose to do some sort of aggressive build to start with the ball in his court, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him play reactionary again, kind of read his opponent, make the proper moves, stay on top of his scouting, and then, you know, similar tactics to last game. We'll see.
Yeah. Kind of interesting already out of Hydra. Going for the early drone scout, maybe a bit concerned about proxies on this map. I know that there have been some Terran players at least. I feel like I've seen a fair number of proxy 2-Rexes on this map from Terran players, so going for the safer play from Hydra just wants to make sure he doesn't lose any kind of advantages that he's already managed to accumulate.
I like the play here from Journey. Triple command center. I love seeing that, man.
Tried and true.
By the way, shout out to Tempo and Kane.
Oh my god.
Who are in the chat talking about stuff.
You guys want to be cool like Tempo and Kane? Should talk to us in the chat as well, or talk to them in the chat actually. But
me and Tempo have had some legendary freestyle battles, if I may say so myself.
Oh my god, you had a great freestyle when he came in. Oh my god, hold that back. Zerglings managed to almost pick off one of the Marines. 2 of them managed to get in, and is that Zergling? No, not in range of that 3rd CC, so not going to have full scouting information on that, but going to be relieved to know that there's no any kind of other shenanigans coming. Factory not, or at least the Bears hadn't built like a reactor or anything, so Hellion's not going to be there for a while. And I wonder actually if that's enough information for Hydra to tell that there was a 3cc. The fact that the reactor hadn't been started yet for the factory.
I'm not sure. He might be able to guess. He's still only on 2 bases here, so he's not looking to go and get a 3rd, which is, you know, I feel like if you know your opponent has 3 bases, you probably want to get up to 3 bases on your own. General rule, if any new players out there in StarCraft 2, if you are a Zerg player, you want to try to stay a base ahead of your opponent in general. But not doing that right now. He's making 5 overlords.
Whoa, yeah, what?
A bunch of roaches and lings. Is that what we're going to see here?
Well, speed is being researched right now. We do have 3 gas geysers available. And with the roach wearing out, yeah, we're going to see 5 roaches, 6 roaches already being made. And this could be an attempt to try and punish this 3cc build that we're seeing out of Journey. I wonder how well this is actually going to work.
Might work very well.
Oh, man.
If we think about the fact that the Terran went for 3 command centers early in the game, and we have the Zerg opponent going for an incredibly hyper-aggressive 2-base attack, this could work very well. So Journey needs to be able to spot this, and he needs to make the right decisions once he spots it. So we have a lot of roaches coming out, a lot of lings. We have a Baneling nest behind this as well. So the Baneling bus is going to try to bust open the front door, and then the roaches and lings are going to try to stream in afterwards. So does Journey have any idea this is happening?
He saw the roach. He saw 4 or 5 of the roaches. He should know what's going on. He's immediately pulling SCVs. He knows exactly what's happening. He's trying to build the bunker, but the roaches are already there. They're going to be able to get some free pot shots up on some of these Hellions. Actually managed to kill off 2 of them already. The big focus over here for Hydra is going to be able to be making it through that wall in, but I mean, that's what these Banelings are here for, Alex.
3 additional bunkers trying to be placed down from Journey. He's going. It's emergency mode for him. We got some Widow Mines there. That should help. But here we go. Hydra coming in with the Banelings, busting into that bunker. Widow Mine shot was decent. Here come the Roaches into the natural expansion. Hydra at 76 to 16 supply, and that's a lot of Roaches. Remember, 3 command centers from Journey means he is not going to have a lot of units out to deal with this, trying to get those bunkers up. More Banelings coming in, but I think this is way too much Zerg. This is a Zerg rush. I think Hydra's got this.
That may very well be, that's all she wrote, as the Banelings start to explode on the final supply depots, leading the Roaches into the main base. A poor Widowmine burrowing, not so much in self-defense, but so much as in trying to avoid it being absolutely murdered by these Roaches, because the Roaches, they're already doing a great job on this mineral line. Hydra taking game number 2.
Wow. 2-0. He's up 2-0. Did you expect that?
I did not expect this. I did not expect this series to be going like this. Hydra just absolutely on fire. And I mean, I knew that Hydra was a good player, but like Journey's a really good player too, though. I'm like really stunned right now at how this series is going.
You know, obviously Journey did go for a bit of a greedy opening, as they say. 3 command centers before anything, pretty much. Now, I'm not sure if Hydra was able to kind of read that with his Zergling and then made the decision from there to go for the all-in tactics with the Roaches and the Banelings, but it certainly worked out well. It certainly worked out, obviously. And that's one of those Zerg builds that is one to remember. If you're a Zerg player at home and you're trying to figure out how to take out your Terran opponent, I think that's one that works against a lot of things.
There was that one period of time, I'm sure you remember, like, where it just felt like 80% of ZVTs were Zerg's Roach, Zergling, Baneling, all-inning Terrans. Do you remember that? Because it was like, Terrans were just like, they were like getting so greedy with their 3CC builds every single game. So Zerg started doing this, and suddenly it just went from like Zerg struggling against the 3CC build to suddenly every Terran is just dying to the Roach, Baneling, like all-in. They were like, but what do we do? And Zerg is just like, well, you don't go 3CC every game. And I feel like, yeah, I feel like that's like a really good example of kind of like, well, you know what? This is actually still something that you can do against the 3CC if you are like really on top of it and scout it out. Although, I think also like it really was important to note that merry-go-round, we like briefly talked about it, but the actual Hellions, like the Hellion didn't actually see the Roaches until like fairly late on.
Yeah.
Half of the Roaches are already right outside the natural, and it has to do with the fact that the Roaches went up that little like ramp where, you know, the 4th or whatever you want to call it expansion was, and the Hellion went on the low ground. So it was once again those 2 ships passing in the night, not realizing that the other army is over there, and he just got the scout off so much later than if it was just like a direct path. Here's like the normal scouting like routing for the AI or anything, right? So it actually did kind of play in a little bit of a factor, because otherwise you imagine if those 4 bunkers were finished up, maybe it works out a little bit better for Journey, maybe.
I think, you know, getting an SEV scouting properly, or a Hellion out there, or a Reaper, or a scan is absolutely necessary to defend something like that. By the way, do we have to switch servers back to?
Oh, yes, I believe so. We're actually, so for those who don't know, we are kind of, because I believe Hydra living in the root house in North America and Journey out in Korea. We're switching servers for each game, so going back to the Korean server now. But seems like if you're up against a Roach Baneling all-in, doesn't matter what server you're on, still got to make sure you scout it out first.
Absolutely.
Because that was the first scout out that Journey actually did. Those 2 Hellions moving around, he actually had to send one to the south base and one to the top right-hand base because he had no idea where his opponent was.
True words have never been spoken. And it's a tricky situation for Journey. He's down 0-2. Hydra's playing like a beast. Playing like he plays a lot of StarCraft. Safe to say. Up 2-0. This is a best of 7. This is the final match of the evening. Team Gravity's Fight Night, and I want to mention our sponsors again, Hitbox.tv, for making this happen. And I got to say, this is one of my first. You know, I've been doing a lot of real life stuff recently, so I haven't been exposed to a lot of Hitbox streams. But from what I've seen, not only because of the 2 beautiful faces on stream, but just the production and how everything looks, and the chat, and of course all the handsome people in chat. Hitbox.tv has a huge check mark in my heart. It's awesome, awesome service. So guys, be sure to follow the stream. Get yourself a hitbox.tv account. Maybe consider streaming yourself, streaming on your own,
Yeah.
and take advantage of this awesome service that Hitbox is providing.
Definitely. And also, one really quick note, if you also do like the Team Gravity stuff, and you also are liking Hitbox, you really are enjoying it, do consider hitting that subscribe button, as I think that will actually help out just a little bit in terms of, I think, actually, like, helping Team Gravity Fight Night, as well as Hitbox, carry on into the future for a better and brighter future. But all of that aside, let's go ahead and introduce the players. The spawn down here in the bottom left-hand side is going to be the red Terran player representing Samsung Galaxy, and gotta make some kind of miracle comebacks right now. Down 0-2. It is Journey.
His opponent in the top middle, present your blue Zerg player representing Team Root Gaming. He is Hydra. Up 2-0.
Yeah. Really, really strong showing out of Hydra. And again, I just keep going back to like the fact that Hydra has just been doing really, really well in general lately. It's actually really, really fantastic. I feel like honored that I get to watch some of his games live now and see this show match series. But already got spawning pool first coming out of Hydra, so I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about like spawning pool first or anything? If it's like a sign that maybe Hydra is saying, you know, maybe I should play it a little bit safer or anything.
Yeah, I never really read too much into the supremely early openings. My main concerns at this point is it's always the adequate scouting, what the initial worker sees, and we saw Journey not terribly on top of his scouting in the last game, which led to his downfall.
Yeah.
3 command center opening, but wasn't able to identify the Baneling Ling Roach shenanigans until it was too late. So that's the main thing that I generally keep my eyes on at this stage.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes a lot of sense. The only thing that I could see maybe playing a little bit of a part is sort of similar to what we saw actually in game number 2, where we had a couple of those early Zerglings coming out, and really, really starting to mess with... Actually, no, I think that was in the Kane game, Kane versus Hearthstone, where we had like early Zerglings coming out and really starting to mess with Hearthstone. So, different matchup. Maybe I'm just like thinking about this wrong, but you know, those early 6 or so Zerglings can still do some nice damage, but this time we got a Reaper opening from Journey.
Like it. I like it. Especially considering how last game went. Reaper, one of the fastest units in the game, especially early on. You get a lot of good scouting done. They're going to start trying to peck away at some of these drones. Hydra has committed a few lings across the map there. Again, that's another reason behind this. Ooh, a drone able to be taken out. But you mentioned the early spawning pool. The ling's able to sneak by, trying to take down that SCV. Forcing a cancel on this command center would be actually remarkable, and it looks like that might happen. The Reaper trying to take down the ling, and a cancel does happen. So Hydra's going to be super happy with that as Journey is forced to pull his second Reaper back to deal with these Zerglings.
Yeah, and those Zerglings actually oh my god, the Zerglings and the Overlord actually managed to get a scout off on the command center being built in the main base. Now, he didn't see another CC being thrown down the low ground, so he can't really say, oh, it's like a 3 or a 3 CC build or anything. He also didn't see the factory or the reactor. So Hydra may still need to get a little bit extra scouting information on that, but still, really, really great trade. Just a couple of Zerglings to delay that command center for such a long time. 3 Reapers, though. 3 Reapers enough to kill off a Queen, for those who don't know. So Hydra got to be a little bit careful over here, pulling that extra Queen over into the main base, but that other Queen going to be very, very vulnerable.
3 Reapers is also super fun to just play around with. You know, any newer players out there trying to practice your micro, you're trying to get a little bit better at StarCraft 2. Getting those 3 Reapers out, really test your skills, and you can hop them around everywhere and really annoy the Zerg. And again, you have a potential to take down a Queen. Of course, the Reapers regenerate that health, so just general practice overall, especially while hopefully macroing back home. So cool moves here from Journey so far. I do like this opening a lot. But remember, he had to cancel that command center on the low ground, which obviously Hydra's going to be super happy about, and that's going to be affecting him as this game goes forward. But it's funny because Journey goes from having to cancel to just popping down 2 additional command centers. So he's going to have 3 orbital commands fairly soon, which means lots of money in income.
Yeah. God, I'm really loving this Reaper control from Journey so far. This is a really great way to kind of turn things around a bit. He hasn't killed any drones, or it looks like he's killed one drone, or a little bit early on when he had that single Reaper out. But I mean, he's killed off 12 Zerglings, killed off a Queen, and now he's got the Hellions over here. He hasn't lost any of these units, and with some good micro, it looks like he's gonna be able to kill off another Queen. Could kill off a second or third one even maybe.
See, the Reaper's backing up. Okay. I like this. I mean, staying active across the map, anytime you can force your opponent's attention to be on something else to distract from their build is a good thing. So again, I like this style from Journey. Having these units up close and personal, also preventing the creep spread is huge. We're at 8 minutes, and Hydra has literally been able to do 0 creep spread. He's only been able to connect his main and natural expansion. And this is a point where you want your creep at least, you know, a stone's throw away from your natural, at the very least. I'm not going to define what that is. Everyone throws a stone in different length. But you get my point. The creep spread is non-existent, and Journey's doing a great job denying that or preventing it.
Yeah. And we even see some roaches coming out, which, I mean, is a corner that some players do like to try to cut. You know, skipping the roaches, just going with speedlings and saying, well, I'll just control well. But, I mean, with how aggressive Journey's been, I almost feel like Hydra's kind of saying, you know what? I need to break out of this container if I ever want to take a third expansion. I don't want to just do this with pure Zerglings, because, I mean, my opponent's doing a good job with the control. He's making a lot of these Hellions also. Not even like an absurd number of Hellions, just like a fairly decent number of Hellions I could deal with just pure Zerglings. So if you don't have speed, gotta go for some of those roaches.
He's getting a lot of roaches out, and if you look at his upgrades, he's got speed, and he's got +1, and those are going to finish very close to each other. So this might be a situation where he just pumps out a bunch of roaches and attacks across the map while securing a third base. I think it's a great build. I think Violet has done it quite a bit as well. You do this, and then you go into +2. You can go into Hydras. There's a lot of options to do from here. But the important thing is getting that third up, getting saturated, and it is very doable to get a lot of damage done across the map. So we should see Hydra pushing out across with a bunch of roaches very soon.
Yeah, Journey does get the full information on this and actually manages to get his units out of there in time as well. With some Marauders actually going to be popping out, I mean, Journey is actually just finishing up a lot of his production facilities from being created. And he's even going to be able to make a siege tank over here. This is going to be so invaluable if there is this big attack. But finally, the Reaper is going to be picked off.
Nicely done. Now the Roach is scurrying across the map. Journey, can he handle this? He's got some Marauders on the way, got some Marines. 1-1 is not yet done, but this is the timing Hydra is looking for. We got a tank on the high ground. That's going to be very important to get that placed properly. And here comes Hydra charging into the natural expansion. Whoa. Targeting down that bunker. Oh. Okay, I think the tank is too close. Tank is too close to the edge there.
Overseer providing some great vision, but I mean, there's a lot of Marines over here. The Roach count is starting to dwindle. SCV is being pulled as well, and I think that Journey is going to be able to hold. Still chasing with some of those SCVs, though.
Marauders are powerful. The SCVs, again, acting as the lineman to the, I guess, the quarterback, Marine and Marauder. Football reference, LOL. Should we talk about the Cowboy game that happened earlier?
Oh my god, I wasn't paying attention to that, man.
Do you watch sports ball?
I was paying attention. I was paying attention to the sports ball of the Seahawks, though.
Dude, let me just say, because this might be the only time I have to rant about that in a public space. Des Bryant caught that football. Des Bryant caught that football. That should have been
oh my god,
touchdown.
that was ridiculous. I'm not even going to comment on it. Let's just. I'm gonna completely deflect. I'm gonna completely deflect that and talk about how Journey is now pushing across the map. He's lost a lot of workers during that attack. And I'm kind of interested to see like how this is going to end up going, because yeah, he has the third CC, but I also want to note that Hydra's just now finishing up his Spire. This might be able to do a good job of like deflecting this push off with the remainder of the units that he has, as well as whatever units he's making right now.
It's a good push, and this is extremely tough. Hydra needs to be able to get us around. Remember, he lost all those units earlier.
+1 armor.
Okay, there we go. Coming in from 2 locations, but he doesn't have speed yet, which is a little awkward. Okay, he's going to clean it up. Now, what's going to be really important here is that a lot of units have been made for Hydra, which means I'm not so sure about the drone count. Okay, he's at 61 drones to his opponent's 53 officers, so not in a terrible situation there. 10 mutas on the way. That should be able to help with the medevacs that are floating into his main base. So still pretty even. Journey has to be careful there. He doesn't want to get his medevacs taken out by the mutas. They're about to pop out and surprise him.
Oh man, that could actually be really, really scary. Although the medevac boost, pretty good unit. Could get out of there even with the Mutals over there, but does have to make sure he has some reinforcing units to back him up, make sure those Mutals don't just chase him out. And yep, looks like we're going to be seeing that load up and boosting the heck out of there. Unfortunately, one medevac goes down, but it's the medevac that doesn't have anything in it.
Oh, Banelings.
Oh.
That's all you need to say when you see 5 Banelings heading toward a mineral line. But look at that Journey with fantastic reaction.
Wow. Doesn't lose much of anything over there, actually. And we see Journey still got some units all around the map, actually, along the top side, along the bottom side. Even gonna actually catch one of Hydra's attempts to be a little bit map aware, map present. Catch a lot of these Zerglings that are just moving along the bottom side of the map. Kind of cute.
With these Korean players, there's always something else. There's always something else going on. I love seeing the Zergs who like peel away a few Lings or a few Banelings, like exactly like we're seeing right now. Hydra's sending some Lings to the outside of his opponent's third base, which will be made into Banelings and will be assaulting that middle line a little bit later. I can guarantee that. Which is super cool to see. Really cool play there from Hydra.
Yeah.
Of course, in order to optimize that, you want to try to attack from another location so your opponent isn't paying attention, and then you kill the, you eliminate the entire mineral line, and then you're a happy camper because you're ahead of it.
Yeah. And exactly as you were saying, I think that Hydra's going to try and pull this army up to the top side. He's going in with some of those Zerglings, just trying to make sure that army is busy over there, but the Banelings are now coming in. They're trying to walk around his siege tank. The Marines are pulling in, but Baneling's actually not able to do a whole lot of damage over there.
Nope. Tried to go for his tactics, but again, Journey's pretty good at this game too, so he's able to react adequately to what was happening there. And now he has a supply lead, 177 to 166 supply, 7 Marines on the way, 3 Marauders, 2 Medevacs, and a Thor, plus 2 armor about to finish as well. And he's going to be aggressive across the map here, so we should have a pretty big battle here that the result will probably tell us a lot about who's going to win this game. Nice splitting there from Journey.
Oh yeah, that pre-split really going to help out a lot. He's going to be able to wait for that creeps to recede just a little bit. Of course, at the same time, Hydra going for that 4th expansion and trying to catch up a little bit in the upgrades. Fell a bit behind when one of his evolution chambers got picked off. And oh, Hydra, gotta be so careful. Doesn't want to engage off of creep right now.
Okay, here well, looks like that's what he's doing. We need some good splitting from Journey. Not the best, actually. Pretty good splitting there. Stimming those Marines back.
Yeah.
And the Thor's getting some nice shots off onto those Mutas.
Oh!
Exactly what you want. Marauders focusing down the Roaches, and Hydra does not have near enough. So Journey will take game number 3. Nicely played.
Yeah, finally putting himself on the scoreboard after some great play. And I think that, there's one thing I will say, Axel Toss, and that's that Journey seems to feel a little bit better as we go into the later stages of the game. Maybe that kind of early game aggression that we saw out of Hydra in some of the previous games, not where he's feeling the most comfortable. Later stages where he has a big army, can really make a lot happen. It's looking good.
Yeah, he's getting his feet under him. First 2 games, maybe kind of a warm-up for him, as I think we're going to be switching back to
North America? Yeah.
Getting his feet up under him in his first 2 games, so it's cool. I thought that was a very entertaining game, actually. I thought the Roach attack would actually do a lot more damage than it did, so I'm really impressed that Journey was able to defend as efficiently as he could. And I thought it was really cool all the drop play we were seeing too from Journey. Just being aggressive absolutely everywhere, showcasing phenomenal micro.
Yeah.
So cool, yeah. Certainly a very cool game 3.
And especially, I think that a lot of what really impressed me about Journey just was the first time I feel like he's really been able to take full control of the series or the game was with that initial Reaper harassment, right? Like, even though he lost his CC, canceled on the low ground that last game on Catalina and everything, that was all frustrating. But then he goes in with the Reaper, he kills off one drone, that's all well and good. Goes in with the other 3 Reapers as he rallies them across the map. It just starts killing off Zergling after Zergling after Zergling, and keeps all of them alive, comes back in with the Hellions, continues to put on pressure, kills off a Queen or 2, and it just... I think that was like really the first time that I was like, you know what? Journey's looking really in control right now. And I feel like if he can keep that up, he can find a way to keep control of the match, he can actually do a really good job of maybe taking out Hydra.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy though.
Oh yeah.
These guys are super good.
I mean, you just have to take out Hydra. That's no big deal, right?
Right.
Oh.
I remember that was a huge storyline actually when Hydra joined Root, and I think it's paid off for him big time, certainly.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who has doubted, like, I know that there's been a lot of talk sometimes about Korean players that move out of Korea. It's like, oh man, you're not gonna be able to compete with the rest, right? I mean, we got a Kespa Korean player right here, spun down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. Journey started to make the comeback, but still has a ways to go. It is Blue Terran player Journey, whose name I already said.
It's okay, say it twice. He deserves it because of how well he played that last game.
He does.
And he probably needs it because of the work he has to do to go up against and hopefully beat his opponent in the top left-hand location. Representing Root Gaming, he is Hydra.
All right, well, King Sejong Station. Oh my god, look at this. Hydra just constantly looking around, just being very, very safe these past 2 games. Look at this drone scout. It's scouting around specifically for the proxy racks. Even his Overlord, his second Overlord, and his first Overlord, scouting around for potential proxy racks locations. Everything is concerned about a proxy racks right now.
I like it. Getting the scouting done is obviously I'm a huge fan of scouting. And at this stage, it's game 4. Both these guys respecting each other quite a bit. Not too surprised to see them send the early workers to just make sure nothing weird's going on. Of course, looking out for scan timings a little bit later too. Watching out for the roach timings too, which Hydra has been a fan of that we've seen. And I think a very solid strategy are the roach timings. So, yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
Well, surprisingly enough, despite the fact that Hydra has been ultra cautious about any kind of return cheesing from Journey, we actually have a CC first coming out from Journey. So it's quite literally the opposite of early cheesy kind of aggression. It's actually just really, really fast economy. And with the gas guys are also going up behind it, could very well be seeing that Reaper. Oh no, actually got a Marine coming out, so maybe just gonna go for Barracks and Reactor or something like that. But regardless, Hydra doesn't have to worry too much about any kind of early aggression.
Speed underway. Safe standard openings so far from both these two guys, and I want to again take a quick moment to shout out our sponsor, Hitbox.tv, where you are watching this right now. Hitbox.tv, I think awesome website, awesome service, very smooth, very sleek. We've been seeing a lot of GIFs being posted in chat, which is very unique. But I do love the overall clean, simple, smooth layout, and they have a lot of people behind the scenes there at Hitbox helping make it as awesome as it can possibly be. So definitely check out Hitbox TV more often, and be sure to follow the stream that you're watching right now, and subscribe if you feel inclined. And of course, head on over to the chat. Lots of chatting going on there in the chat. Just some shout outs real quick. Team Tempo is there, Techno Muffins. We got Desro in the chat as well, Barcoding, Zenmeng. Lots of cool conversations happening there, so be sure to join the conversation.
Indeed.
And enjoy.
And
the StarCraft 2 matches. Of course, I'm Axel Class, joined by Fearless Dragon, I should say.
oh man, dude, no, I am deadly afraid of dragons. Oh, are you crazy, man?
Really?
Who wouldn't be afraid of dragons? Dude, have you ever seen a dragon? Like
Yes.
in the movies and everything? Would you
Komodo
not
dragon?
be freaked out?
Not in
Okay,
IRL.
Actually, I don't know. I've never actually had to meet a Komodo dragon, but I feel like these Zerglings are going to be acting as pretty scary dragons right now as they're going after some of those SCVs.
You know,
Get
I'm
cleaned up by
actually
the
dating.
Hellions.
I'm dating the mother of dragons.
You're dating a
so-
dragon?
No, the mother of dragons.
You're dating the Khaleesi?
Yes.
You're dating the Khaleesi?
Yeah. So
How is
I
that
was
going?
really into her when I was watching the screens, and I'm trying to get into acting. So I went over to LA to try out for a part in Game of Thrones actually, and she was there. It was a crazy situation.
Wow.
I was actually getting some punch while I was preparing my lines, and I saw her, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I play this? But thankfully, I'm very eloquent with my words, and I'm a very handsome individual. So I went over there and started working my magic, and by the end of a 10-minute conversation, I had her phone number, and one thing led to another. So yeah, I am dating the mother of dragons.
Oh my god, that's actually really freaking cool.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
I'm like speechless, man. I'm not like this is like such a cool story that I don't even know whether you're pulling my legs on this, but
No, seriously, it was. I was a little surprised, but it worked out. It's pretty cool.
all
I'm
right.
just kidding, by the way.
Well, hey
I
man,
made it
I
up.
want to hear.
I made it up.
I was gonna say. I was
made
like,
all
what?
that up.
What on earth? Well, hold that thought, okay? Because we actually got some really cool stuff going on in the game right now. Wouldn't mind drop over in the main base. Doesn't work out too well. Hydra on top of that, but I want to note behind us we got an armory follow-up from Journey, and we could be seeing some of these Hellions turning into Hellbats pretty soon.
We got a Spire on the way as well. 90% of the way done. The Widow Mines. Let's units lost. Crazy. No, they didn't do much, man. They didn't do much. Of course, they can distract, right?
Yeah.
Which is, don't ask me about being distracted by Widow Mines. I was playing James in a show match like a few days ago, and he just went.
Oh,
Widow
I
Mines.
saw that.
Not fun.
Oh, I saw that. Oh, that was painful.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I gotta say,
strong
man,
unit.
it is a strong unit, and you know what else? Thors
What else?
and Vikings and factory units and
Oh my.
mech. Oh man, 3 factories. We got reactors, tech labs going down. We're gonna be going into some hardcore mech axle toss.
Okay, and the Overseer is able to spot that this is all going on. We see Roach Speed underway, 3 queens. So, I wonder how Journey's gonna. Excuse me. I wonder how Hydra's gonna react to this. Of course,
He has seen the factories.
Mech can get so scary when it really builds up. The most vulnerable part
Oh,
of
yeah.
the vulnerable part of Mech is before it builds up. And that might be obvious, but once that critical mass comes out of all the tanks and Thors and Viking scariness, you don't want any business to do with it. So we're seeing speed about halfway done from Hydra, and he's making a lot of roaches. So it looks like he wants to attack very soon. Maybe one goal will be to deny the third. Another goal will
Oh my
be
God.
to get into the production and start.
Queens
chopping
are
up
walking
those-
across the map. He's really committing to
Yeah.
this.
Oh yeah.
The queens are yeah. We'll have to this is going to be really weird and scary, and I mean right now Hydra should have all the information he needs. He's seen the factories, he's seen the Hellion count, he's seen the Thors and the Vikings. How effective is this going to be? Well, it's going to be effective at shutting down a 4th expansion. This 4th expansion is just going to like look at these queens and be like, "Oh, never mind." But Roach is coming in, going to pick up a siege tank.
The Vikings can't do much. They're going to have to land. The Hellbat's actually doing a decent amount of damage too. The Queen's coming forward, looking for the transfuses onto the Roaches. Hydra backing up a little bit, and Journey, one of the most important units he has here is the siege tank. But I think the siege tank was taken out, so he's not going to have that splash damage available.
Yeah.
This is a lot of Roaches from Hydra. Remember, speed has finished. He has plenty reinforcing across the map. 15 more in production, and Journey is trying to do everything he can to keep his units alive. Picking up that Thor, very nice, fancy micro, keeping that thing alive. But that's a lot of Roaches, man.
It is, and oh no, siege tank. The next one gets taken out. There's only one more in production right now, and amazingly enough, Journey is actually doing a pretty good job of holding on though. He's starting to stabilize a little bit, even if he has lost a fair number of some of those workers. Already lost 16 so far.
Okay, well,
Thor is once again getting focus fired down.
Journey's going to be fine here.
Yeah.
I love the micro with the medevac on the Thors, picking those up as they get low. That's one of the more
Even
fancy
using
moves.
SCVs
See if you
for
can do it on this
repair.
Thor too. Yeah, he's gonna be fine, man. And this is a big
Oh my
investment
god.
from Hydra. It's a lot of roaches,
Dude,
obviously, which means not a lot of drones, but he's not really teching that much either. It's still just roach tech, pretty much.
actual some of these stores have like 17 kills. And they're like they're not like Zergling kills where it's like, oh, I one-shot a dude, no big deal. They're like, I'm killing roaches off right now. And they've got +1 weapons. They're really beast moding it right now. Although this Thor getting focus fire down, no. SCV's there to back it up. He's got his posse with him.
Thor is here. Yeah. Thors are good, and when you have a really good player microing them, they become a bazillion times better. But we should know behind this, we got 8 storm hosts. We got enduring
Oh my
locusts. And
Well,
this is something that's really good against mech. So he's got 4 bases. 4 gases. He can add on more gases if he wants. What Hydra's been doing great about this is having those bases going up behind this roach aggression. So his economy is great. He's got plenty of resources available. And he's got storm hosts out. So we'll have to see how he uses this. It's very difficult to deal with.
I mean, we got a meching player versus a swarm hosting player on King Sejong Station. Alex, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not even surprised. Like, this is actually such a... It's not in the sense of like, oh man, what a boring game, everything. It's like, this is such a good strategy to do on this map, especially the swarm hosts. We see it happen quite a bit, I think. And I think that it's really going to come down to the center area, right? That's how we generally end up seeing a lot of these games with swarm hosts and mech coming down, or playing out.
Well, I mean, swarm hosts, not that mobile. So we're seeing a drop actually head to the top right-hand side of the map. And that's a great way to deal with swarm hosts, is to just not engage them. Right? So, oh, never mind, it's 2 Vikings. Come on, Alex, get in the game.
Oh.
Well, 2 Vikings can still land and do harassment, which can distract the Zerg. So I stand by what I said, even though they're not 2 drop. But yeah, I mean, the trick is you don't want to engage the Locust, because if you engage the Locust, you're trading units that cost money for units that don't cost money. So the best way to handle this, you want to obviously get on top of the swarm host somehow. You can try to drop and get on top of them. You can try to swing over to the left-hand side. You can set up a nice siege line to deal with the Locust before they arrive. But all that stands, though, is as long as the Locust can't get any damage done and you have a siege line there that is killing them before they can do anything, you're in a good spot. And that's when the Zerg has to decide, okay, this isn't working, I have to attack in a different location. So it's an interesting game, interesting stuff happening here as both these players make these decisions when swarm hosts are on the map.
Yeah, and I really like what Hydra's doing. This is what a lot of swarm host players will try and do, is say, okay, I can't actually, as you were saying, be very mobile with a swarm host. So they try and use units like roaches to try and go for counterattacks and everything. He goes into the natural expansion, but I mean, Journey's already on top of it. He sees the roaches. He already has an army ready and prepared over there. And the siege tank's going to be handling these swarm host waves relatively okay.
And there's the drop from top right, so I'm not a liar. Woohoo! Hydra's coming out, so it's interesting. He only made like 6 or 7 swarm hosts, which I actually really like. But it looks like there's a flank, and those units are going to be taken out at the top right-hand location. Meanwhile, in the middle,
but the swarm hosts!
We got the swarm hosts getting taken out. Look at this Journey playing such a good game right now. 189. Well, actually, they're both pretty maxed. But anytime you can take out these swarm hosts, it's such a good thing. They're such expensive units. But the Hydras are out now. So Journey going to be careful and backpedal.
Yeah, as well as those Vipers, going to be very, very difficult to try and deal with right now. But I think one of the most important things is that he, not just that he was killing off the Swarm Host, because as you were seeing, both the players pretty close to max out, but he was unburrowing them from that center location. So before, where the Locusts were able to harass that 4th expansion, try and pick away at the SCV line, force all those siege tanks to be sieged up, he managed to at least push them back for a little bit, and the Swarm Host got to be careful. They do not want to be that exposed once again.
Okay, Hydra's looking for an engagement opportunity, trying to get a concave on the left and right hand side. Use blinding clouds, which means the tank can't shoot. Those are great blinding clouds here from Hydra.
None of them!
That's how you use a Viper, but is it gonna be enough? The blinding clouds.
It's starting to expire.
Gonna wear away eventually, and Journey's gonna be fine. Yeah, he's up 161 to 110 in supply. Look at all these tanks. Wow. I mean, it's great to put the blinding clouds in the tanks, but if you can't actually kill the tanks, you're not really doing anything. So, I don't really know what Hydra can do here.
Yeah, he managed to call up like Marines, Marauders, and Hellbats, which again are the units that as you were saying, like Journey can replace. He can replace those, keeping the Siege Tanks and the Thors alive. That's what's going to be really important. And you can see that Journey is now pushing in. He's looking pretty good, and doesn't look like this fourth expansion or the center expansion is going to be able to survive for very long.
Backing up. Yeah. Well, I'm not really seeing a way out here for Hydra. He's making Hydras, LOL. But this is a massive army. This is a massive army from Journey. And it's not like Hydra has something else on the other side of the map to distract or anything to kind of deviate the attention of Journey away from this. He's going to have to give up this fourth base. He only has 3 bases. His opponent has 4 bases. Sensor towers everywhere. Ability to add on another base if he wants. This game is completely in the control of Journey right now. And Hydra's trying to think up options. Making more Roaches, making more Hydras. But I don't know if that can cut it at this point. We need like a Miracle Broodlord tech switch or something. But he doesn't have time or money for that.
Yeah, and you can see Journey, he's now splitting up his army a little bit, moving back into this really nice location at the ramp, where if those Hydras want to engage, they've either got to go down the long way, or they've got to try and funnel through a ramp. And at the same time, there's going to be a big distraction, because we got the 4 medevacs loaded up in the top right-hand corner.
Insult to injury here. I think Journey just cementing his position. So this drop is going to force those units back. But Journey's just straight up retreating with the rest of his army. I'm surprised he's not trying to attack the left-hand side and time this a little bit better. But taking down a lot of drones. Gas guys are going to be targeted down. He could take down the hatchery if he wanted. He's going to. But he's going to pick up some units. Probably going to drop in the main. And as we said, if these players are always doing something else, drop in the main as that's happening. We have the Surge up the middle. The Greater Spire is going to be very vulnerable. Though, does he not know about the base in the middle left? Because I think
he does know about it. I feel maybe he's thinking that he can come back to that a little bit later. Or the drop in the top left in the main base does get cleaned up, and it looks like this is going to be his opportunity. He now knows, okay, your units are all on your main base. There's no way you're going to be able to defend it. And oh my god, destructible rocks between that base and the natural expansion were never knocked down, so he can't even retreat his drones out through a nice place.
I think the fat lady Tempo is about to start singing.
Oh man, Tempo. Did you hear what Axel
when they can't respond? Is that breaking the rules? Because I feel a little bad for that. But
oh no.
He's in the chat, so he could respond in the chat.
He's just speechless. He's just speechless, man.
I'm staying with it. I'm sticking with it.
Oh. Well,
but yeah, I think
army.
I don't know what Hydra can do here. Try to be crazy efficient with the Storm Host and Locust, perhaps. Got to get some money, blinding clouds to prevent the tanks from going down. But again, if we review what happened, he lost his 4th base, he lost his 3rd base, he lost his 5th base. Meanwhile, Journey's still sitting pretty on 4 bases, and there is the GG. And now we are tied. And we're tied. We're tied. 2-2. 2-2.
2-2. It
right?
is
that true?
2-2 in a best of 7. So both these players still got to win 2 more games if they want to come out on top. Very excited to see how it's going to go in the next game. But I do want to remind everyone, of course, if you're watching this, maybe through the Team Liquid calendar event or something, you have the stream loaded up on Team Liquid, go ahead and click on through to Hitbox, participate in the chat, be awesome, and support Hitbox, because they are the ones that are helping make this actually possible. So give it an honest shot. I know that if you actually check it out, you'll see some great stuff. Like some Technotrance just posted the Huck clapping and celebration GIF in the chat, which is fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Dude, the GIFs in chat is amazing. Yeah, shout out to Hitbox for making this happen. You know, I'm really happy that I get $1,000 for casting here today. So
yeah.
That's why I'm really. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually, for every 45 minutes, right? It's like $1,000 every 45 minutes.
I get 1,000 hearts from the people watching, hopefully, and that makes it worth it.
That's true.
To make the smiles, the entertainment. That's my currency. You know what? Screw you, society. Screw you, world. I'll decide my own currency, and that's what it is.
Smiles are worth more than dollars, actually.
Right?
Smiles and hearts. In some forms of trade, anyways.
Hey, I'll sign up for that one. Um,
Well, we are going to be swapping
sign up for
over to
that world.
Korea for the next game. Um,
Okay, let me
have you
get over
swapped over
there.
to Korea yet? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Let me I was actually getting my helicopter and go fly to Korea to play on the Korean server.
Oh, that
That'd
would
be
be
nice.
fantastic. Actually,
Yeah,
actually, you can
more
just
fun.
sit behind and you can actually like tilt your webcam also toward Journey's keyboard, and I'll like fly over to the root house, and I'll tilt my camera over at Hydra's keyboard, and we can get like the APM cameras going between the games.
Sickest, sickest idea.
I feel like I'm
Sickest.
getting the better end of this in terms of like the travel expenses.
Sure, I'd go to Korea. That'd be fun. Get to go
Oh
there to
man,
freaking
that
cast
would
it
be fantastic.
because Blizzard would
Oh, casting. Man, I
Blizzard
would love to
blocks it.
just go there, period. Just like go there, attend like SSL or like Pro League and all the other stuff like GSL. Oh, that would be fantastic.
I think everyone would just. I'm pretty tall, so I feel like it'd be weird.
You would
Everyone
stand
would just
out.
look
You
at
would
me like I'm a
definitely stand
freak.
out.
Look like I'm a freak or something. Here I am, like a
Mm.
half white. No, like a. I'm pretty diverse. Like a non-Korean tall dude. Weird.
Non-Korean tall dude.
Not
Oh,
today.
definitely
Uh,
identifiable.
what is today? Is game 5. Remember, this is a best of 7.
Is that today? Oh, I didn't. I
Yes,
didn't set my alarm.
dude, you gotta set your alarm, man.
I'm not ready, Axel Toss, because my hype is still building up right now. So we're gonna be
Ooh,
jumping into game 5 of a tied up
feel it.
series. It wasn't looking. You know, we were talking about how maybe it wasn't looking quite as close at the beginning of the series. Hydra seemed to be in firm control, but I've got to say, this guy down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map is definitely looking to be turning it around. Already winning those last 2 games, and can he bring it back with 2 more wins and take the series? It is Samsung Galaxy's Journey.
And his opponent in the top left-hand location. Your teal Zerg player, currently residing in the Root House in California. He is Hydra.
Man, I feel like living in Team House would be like so much fun. You were in the what was it called? You were in one Team House, right? For a while? Oh, sorry,
Yes,
I'm thinking
kind
of
of.
yes.
I was
I thought
living
I was
with
thinking of
Pult.
Axe Labs.
I was living with Pult and Violet for a bit.
Violet,
Pult.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was fun. You know, it's cool. You get to watch him play. I don't know. It depends. Every person is different, right? If you go
Yeah.
take a football player and put him in a pro house, it's probably not going to be a match made in heaven. But if you take
Yeah.
really hyped up StarCraft 2 players or fans and put them in a pro house, they're going to be really excited too. So yeah, everyone, it's
Makes sense.
different worlds for different people.
Yeah. I just imagine right now, like, Hydra, having lived in Korea for such a long time, goes to the root house, and then Katz is like, hey, Hydra, let me show you this cool build I have. And Hydra just starts diversifying into like these crazy, like Katz-esque build orders. The kind of builds that only Katz would ever come up with.
Dude, Katz comes up with some awesome builds, and he shares them. I think I remember it was I don't know if it was an MLG or GSL. It was a big tournament, and a Korean Zerg used a build and gave credit to Katz on in an interview. I think it must have been Pro League or something. So Katz is giving build advice to Pro League players.
That
That's
is
pretty freaking
awesome.
Katz
That
is a
freaking
smart
fantastic.
dude.
He comes up with some really smart stuff.
He's super smart. He's good at cooking too. He's just a really nice
Is
guy.
he really?
Yeah.
He would be good at cooking. He's a
He
pretty
makes, like,
suave guy.
Peruvian meals and whatnot.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
pretty cool.
Good friend.
Well-
Good friend.
Taking a look at how the game is shaping up so far, we do have the Reaper now out. We got a couple of Zergans popping out, but these aren't super duper early Zergans like we've seen in one or two of the other games. These aren't going to be dealing devastating amounts of damage to Journey. In fact, it's just really going to be there to try and deal with the Reaper. And Looks like we don't even have any kind of follow-up Reapers like we saw in game number 3 on Catalina? Catalina, yeah. Just going to be the reactor and start going to factory. So everything looking pretty standard so far.
Indeed, I like. It's always fun watching to see what the Reaper can do. That, of course, that's the most dynamic part of the game, and you got to remember there's always something going on behind the scenes. So, the best players can control the Reaper, get a lot of kills, get a lot of drone kills, distract their opponent quite a bit, and then stay on top of their macro back home. Of course, the more newbie players will try to control the Reaper across the map, and then their macro completely falls apart back home. But these players are so good that they can do that. They go back and forth really fast. Got the Reapers stuff going on, and the perfect macro back home. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, the way that I always like to put it is, a good like a player that's like enjoys himself on the ladder and everything. Maybe he's like okay with like micro and everything. He'll do a big attack and be like, awesome, I did some damage. Now what do I do? And then you play a player like, oh, actually, hold that thought. Oh, Zergling's running in. Oh, I think he actually managed to see the third CC over there. Oh, that was actually a really nice Zergling run-in. Sacrifice themselves, but you play like a player like Hydra or Journey, and they do a big attack and they say, all right, where are my forces for the next attack that's coming out? And it's already moving across the map. And that's like the really sign of a good player, is when they constantly have that next step, that next transition set up.
Yep. The next step is always on their minds. Certainly, it is open to adjustment based on what your opponent is doing. But it's really fun, like decisions on the fly, right? Are the coolest to watch. Where, one player does something crazy or unexpected, and the player sees it, and then there has to be a perfect reaction or the game is lost. And that is, of course, amplified the more that's on the line, right? It's a massive multi-million-dollar Olympic Games, like it will be in 2 years with Axeltoss casting the finals.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so it makes it even more intense. So yeah, man, StarCraft 2, crazy complicated game, crazy awesome game.
Yeah, seriously. Really quick note, Journey. Kind of interesting how he tries to dart up into the main base. The Zerglings are in Queens and everything already there, ready for by Hydra. So ends up losing one of the Hellions on the retreat. But I think Journey really just wants to try and get some damage done with some of these Hellions. Because, I mean, the creep spread hasn't really been halted all that much. He hasn't been able to kill any drones, hasn't really killed a lot of Zerglings or anything. So the Hellions not really doing as much as I think Journey would generally like to have them do.
Let's see, Spire's halfway done. Balin is halfway done too. We're not seeing anything too like non-standard, I guess. We're not seeing anything too off the wall. 7 Overlords done. So we are going to see. Let's see, we got 500 gas approaching. Probably about 7 mutas being made. And if you think about the map and the position of these players, that natural expansion of Journey is literally right next to the third base of his opponent. So I think that's certainly going into the decision to go for mutas for Hydra, to get those mutas out and take advantage of that spawn location. Of course, turrets are already going up in that location as well. So Journey very, very, very good on his timings, and we'll have to see. I don't know if those mutas will be able to do a lot of damage to the economy. So yeah, just very even Steven so far.
Yeah, and I really like also Journey trying to do like whatever corner cuts he can, where he delays any kind of turrets in the main base, it looks like. Besides, like, I think one that's kind of overlooking some of the production facilities, but not putting them in the main mineral line or anything, because he says, you know what, if I cover the top side, that natural expansion with 2 missile turrets, and then I cover the production facilities with 1, and I cover the third with 1, you know what? I can use the Marines to defend any other locations if the mules decide to go for some kind of giant swing run by past the turrets or something, which is a little less likely, but ooh, the Marines sort of in low count. Have to be a little bit careful. Oh my god, actually combat shields could get sniped if he's not careful.
Oh, Muta's actually engaging some units there and succeeding, taking down a few Marines. A Widowmine trying to drop into the ground, taking him down as well. So Journey's trying to take advantage of the fact that a lot of supply is on his side of the map, so he's attacking up to the top location. He's trying to cancel that hatchery. It looks like the hatchery will stay alive. The Lean's trying to come forward, but there's the hot pickup, and he's going to go straight into the natural expansion in this map. You can do that. Pick up, drop, pick up, drop. and Hydra's going to be tested here to defend against this.
Yeah, he's finally going to be retreating back with those Beetles to try and stop that pick up drop strategy coming out of Journey. And with all the Zerglings going down, now Drone's going to be under fire. Some Baneling's going to be coming in, but here's exactly what you were talking about. The Mules got to pick off this medevac, and they do manage to get it.
Okay, it's cleaned up. How many? Let's see. Workers. 6 workers killed. Okay, not bad. Income is 62 to 57 right now in favor of the Terran. Upgrades. Let's take a look at that really quick. 1-1 for the Terran. Wow. Actually, Journey is way ahead in the upgrades. Super far ahead.
Yeah. I mean, almost, there's going to be like a very short period where they're even going to be tied up. It's like maybe for 20, 30 seconds. And then suddenly Journey's going to go up another set of upgrades to 2-2. And that's going to be a little bit scary for Hydra to actually deal with when he tries to go for like direct engagements. And I really like that Journey's cleaning up all this creep, but I'm a little bit concerned. He's getting pretty far onto creep right now, Axel Toss.
Yeah, the Banelings are coming out too. They're speed Banelings. Now he does have medevac, so he can pick up his units in theory, but the mutants are there! So you can't escape that easily. You shall not pass. It's a trap. Adam Akbar, all the memes. That being said, I'm just gonna cast the memes. Is that okay? You don't mind?
Casting memes. I don't know, man.
Challenge accepted.
That actually be impressive. Challenge accepted. All right.
Like sayings, memes and sayings.
Yeah. I'm down for it, man. We'll see how long you can keep it up, but Widowmine's gonna be able to kill off the Queen. Unfortunately, actually, do Widowmines not damage creep tumors? I don't actually know.
I'm failing already. Alright, I give up.
I'm
Good
sorry,
try.
I just set you up for a really hard, it's like a really,
Yeah, that's
really
like,
hard
I'm trying to think, okay, what really compares? I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna move on from that. So, pretty even supplies here, honestly. I think the biggest thing here, though, is 2-2 upgrades about to finish. And Terran versus Zerg, that's a huge deal. When 2-2 finishes here, super strong Marines are going to be on the field. And 2-2 has just now started from Hydra. So I expect over the next minute or so before the 2-2 finishes from Hydra, Journey is going to try to be as aggressive as he can be. Also getting Drilling Claws for the Widow Mines. So
Yeah.
this is where you go, Journey. This is where you go.
He is moving up to that top right-hand side. The Mutile's darting around along the bottom side, and I don't know, maybe looking for some reinforcements, maybe just gearing up to try and intercept this army. But, I mean, Journey's army not looking that big in comparison to how big Hydra's army is right now. At least the army that's out on the map for Journey. He does have some units back at home he's going to try and reunite with now.
Hey, this upgrade advantage, very important. Of course, one of the key objectives here for the Terran is to try to deny creep as much as possible. That enables you to be more mobile across the map, and it enables you to have an advantage in the fights. Obviously, if your opponent isn't fighting on creep, they're going to be much slower, and the more creep you take out, the more likely the engagement is going to be up. So we'll keep an eye on that. Muta's trying to charge in the natural expansion here. The turret, it's a campfire.
Oh.
The SCV is huddling around the turret, but everything is getting destroyed.
Oh man, it looks like a Thor being loaded up into the medevac trying to deal with these Mutiles. I mean, a couple of the Mutiles' lives have been lost, and oh, great Thor shot. Actually kills off one or two of the Mutiles in the last seconds that they're retreating, but oh, is Journey trying to intercept those Mutiles? Trying to come along this left-hand side? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to with all the creep spread there.
Oh, big engagement gonna happen. 2-2's not done. 2-2's not done for the Zerg. So,
oh,
he's on creep too.
I mean,
good micro.
Bailey's getting some okay hits. Does manage to push this back a good bit, and I mean, he keeps a majority of or a good chunk of the Mutiles alive. So maybe it ends up being okay.
Yeah, nothing conclusive there. Certainly. 2-2's not done, but now 3-3 is about to finish here for... Oh gosh, 3-3 is about to finish. The Infestation Pit is just now going down. So we're still so far away from the Hive being done. Of course, you need the Hive for the 3-3 for the Zerg. So...
I think that, you know, I would have said maybe like a minute and a half ago that Hydra just got to rely on the creep spread as well as overwhelming numbers. And, you know, the overwhelming numbers may still kind of be there if he gets good engagements, but the creep spread just got seriously hindered. I mean, all along that left-hand side, all the active creep numbers have been taken out. All along the right-hand side, active creep numbers taken out. He may just have to rely on these Mutalisks just to buy time.
It's a lot of mutas. A lot of scary mutas.
Yeah.
So Hydra is attacking in multiple locations here. We got two Thors back there trying to deal with the mutas. Meanwhile, a lot of Lings and Banelings attacking on the right-hand side. Lots of reinforcements coming forward. But guess what?
Oh.
3-3 is just about to finish here for the Terran. And the command center gets taken out. A great pickoff there for Hydra. But now, 3-3 Terran. Just lost that command center. If there's a time to try to be aggressive, it's now. But Hydra is 200 out of 200. And he's been microing like a champ.
Yeah, starting to get that creep spread up again as well. Just barely starting to get it connected over to that fourth expansion. Oh my god, Banelings. Axel Tusk. We got 52 Banelings out on the map, and those Mutals are still being annoying. They're actually darting back into the main base. Just gonna, not even gonna attack that command center. It just gets canceled. Journey's like, nope. I guess that's not happening.
So,
Oh.
Hydra's been controlling these mutas phenomenally. He's and it has a lot to do with these locations, right? Because
Yeah.
that natural expansion, or what was natural expansion, is so exposed to those mutas. But hold that thought, we're going to have a big engagement. Here's some Lings coming over forward from Hydra. Only engaging with the Lings here on the right-hand side. He needs the Banelings to be in the mix. Journey trying to decide which direction to split in. He's handling this really well, and the Banelings trying to explode into the SCVs. The Planetary Fortress barely staying alive, and Journey's going to be super happy with the way that went. Remember, the Terran has 3-3. There is no 3-3 from the Hydra. So, Journey, will he take this moment to counterattack and try to win the game? It's certainly possible. 70 Lings on the way. Plenty of resources available for the Zerg, but the Terran is sprinting across the map. Looks like he's not going to care too much about these mutas back home. Might try to put down a couple Widow Mines or bring a Thor back there, but otherwise, Journey's entire focus is going to be on pushing across the map and trying to win this game.
And he's got to go onto creep, but these Banelings morphing in for Hydra all going to get canceled. There are still a lot more made on the left-hand side. They're charging on in, but look at this spread from Journey. It's actually beautiful, and a lot of the Banelings going to the Thors.
Yeah, you don't want to put Banelings in the Thors. Banelings, you want to focus on the Marines. You're going to do more damage there, obviously. Dude, I like Journey's position.
Oh!
Kane is saying that Hydra wins, and I don't know why in the chat. Kane, we need to reevaluate your status as a pro gamer, my friend. Because Kane is certainly not in the most phenomenal position here. But here we go, hold that thought, we have the Banelings coming in. It might all change here. He needs those solid connections, but it looks like, well, reinforcements are gonna prove everything here. More Marines coming forward from Journey, a Marauder, and of course, what's very important here is all those medevacs that are still alive on the high ground, and Hydra's gonna GG. There it is, Journey! 3-2.
Wow, Journey for the first time in this series taking the lead, 3-2. Really impressive. But we are gonna go ahead and get our cameras back on in just a second. I think that if we can get our observer beast to confirm, yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere. Be sure in the meanwhile, during the break, to go register on Hitbox and everything. We won't be going anywhere, but we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Team Gravity's Fight Night, a weekly show match going on, featuring some of the best StarCraft 2 players in the world. Today has been an awesome day. We started with a North American matchup between Puck and QXC, followed by a European matchup between Hearthstone and
Hearthstone and
Kane.
Kane.
Hearthstone and Kane. Of course, Kane spent some time in Europe, so
Yeah.
but I heard he's might be stepping
European.
back from playing a little bit because of how he miscalled that last game.
Oh, wow. That's actually really
Was-
terrible. I mean,
I, I took
I'm sure
temperature.
that Pult will be relieved to hear that the person who knocked him out of the qualifiers for WCS America will be very, very happy to hear that.
I mean, of course, and to continue the train there, we have our final match, which is Korean. So we go from American to European to Korean, and we are currently in Hydra versus Journey. Of course, my name is Axel Toss. Happy to be here, and I am joined by, of course, Fear Dragon, one of the legendary hard workers, I think, of the North American scene, known for his series
Oh,
Breaking
thank you.
Bad. Breaking Bad.
Yeah, actually,
Breaking
no, it
Out.
was Breaking Bad. Maybe you guys have heard of it. It's a TV show. It's now finished. I think it did okay-ish. It's
Yeah,
still
dude,
it's still coming out there a little bit, but
dude, I loved your work on that. It was great. Breaking Out, trying to get the North American
yeah,
scene a little bit more rejuvenated. Of course, I like to think I try to do that too. Of course, I dragged Destiny into that
yeah, man.
match against Parting 3 days ago, 2 days ago. I don't freaking know time anymore. But anyway, here we are
That was a
in
great series.
the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. This is the sixth game
Sixth
of this
game,
best of
sixth
seven.
game.
Sixth game. Fear Dragon, why don't you start with the intros, inductions?
All right. Starting up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, he started with 6 workers just like it's game 6. Half-Life 3 confirmed. It is going to be Samsung Galaxy's Journey.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand location. Your teal Zerg player, representing Team Root Gaming, he is Hydra.
And I love what ZenMeg is saying in the chat. QXE was about to take a break, and now suddenly he plays, and he's just absolutely godlike. And yeah, QXE is pretty freaking damn good.
Dude, he
Not
was
gonna
awesome.
lie.
He played some freaking phenomenal games. Hopefully some justice is given to Game 2 in the community sites out there.
Oh my
Uh,
god, yes.
Based on how awesome that was. I don't know, maybe making a GIF from it.
I think we're finding the VODs right now. I think that we're in the
we are?
process of yeah, we're in the process of talking with the hitbox and everything. At least I was talking to
do you know how it works with Hitbox? Does it automatically
I'm actually not too sure. I am talking with Technotrans, who's actually part of Team Gravity and everything. He's also been in the chat, so he's working on figuring out where the VODs are and everything, and making sure that you guys can go see all of those nukes once again, as well as the very final nuke that actually landed on top of Puck's army, with some great
Because
play
a
from
part of me
QXE.
wanted to I wanted to challenge the chat to find
Mm-hmm.
that moment and GIF it and put it in the chat because Hitbox allows
Oh
GIFs.
yeah.
Hitbox allows GIFs. So I was going to challenge you guys to make a GIF of
my
that
God.
moment where the nuke dropped on the entire army of Puck and did a ridiculous amount of damage. Certainly the coolest part of this
Wow.
evening so far. So if
That would
if
actually be so
anyone-
cool.
It would be so cool. So if anyone could actually take that challenge and do it, you will be rewarded handsomely with shout-outs upon shout-outs. We will carve your name into all the sculptures in the entire world.
Yeah. Seriously, and that's actually like so cool now. Cause like people like Nice Username, who I swear are just constantly recording everything, cause he GIFs stuff so fast for like big streams and everything. He's gonna have his work cut out for him, man. He's gonna
And
be
I
able to
don't mean to-
immediately share it with the world.
And I don't mean to bring it back, but at the last MLG,
Oh,
Anaheim this year, I met the guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, dude, hey Axel Toss." I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Dude, I made that GIF of you in the water." And I'm like, "Oh wow." So actually, I
Oh,
met the
that's
guy,
awesome.
and he just spends his time making GIFs and stuff. But anyway,
well,
internet
Axel
technology.
Toss, you have effectively met your maker, quote unquote, of the
Right.
GIF that you were involved in.
I was
And
like,
I think
whoa,
that very soon, Journey, sorry, hold on. Journey may be meeting his maker, because we got a Roach Warren finished up by 5 minutes. We got gas already been mined. Hydra is going
200
for the big
gas.
Roach aggression again.
Plenty of supply available as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's 6 roaches. We're gonna see more. Oh yes, we're gonna see more. So does Journey have
Oh.
any idea that this is happening?
He's making the reactor in the barracks and going for the factory, and I know that he saw that gas geyser a little bit ago, but he may not have actually known that this was in fact a lot of roaches coming out. He may have just thought that, oh, you're going for nice and early Zergling speed, everything looking good. He didn't see the roach warren.
This is true.
I feel like if he saw the roach warren, he would be throwing down bunkers, but maybe he just wants to make sure he gets the wall off before he gets bunkers. I don't think that he's seen it though.
He's making, well, I don't think so either. Only one bunker with one Marine. You certainly are
I don't
gonna
think
want
he-
more than that.
Oh
Against-
god, he would not be making a tech lab right now on the barracks if he knew that there were all of these roaches coming across. He'd be making units out of everything he could possibly make units out of right now. And
Okay,
here
and this
come
is
the
to-
roaches, Axel
This is
Toss.
to even the series. I don't think. Yeah, this is to even the series because remember, Journey is up. Journey is 1 win away from winning the whole thing. If I'm not incorrect
Wow.
in saying that.
And the
So-
roaches immediately focus fire down the bunker. The SCVs don't even get the repair off time. Not gonna try and repair the supply depot while in either. Oh my god, a really interesting decision. Widowmines heading on their way out to try and help out, but oh god, the SCVs are gonna have to come to this battle.
Oh gosh. That's a lot of roaches in the main base of the Terran. He has to pull all his workers. They're supposed to be mining, but now they have been enlisted to fight. Yes, that happens when there is a crisis. And now, what is going to happen? He needs to find his bug spray because these roaches are running amok inside the main base of the Terran. This is not what he wanted. 50 to 26 is the supply advantage for Hydra right now, and I think he's very happy with how this is going.
Oh god. Okay, well,
Wow.
GG gets called. Hydra gonna be taking a quick game number 6, even up the series 3-3. And once again, Axel Toss, we're going to the ace match.
Ace. What? Isn't it perfect? I think okay, we had the 3-0 and then we had the ace.
We had a 3-0, but we forgive the 3-0 because we had an
Because
amazing,
game 2.
awesome game number 2. Because game 2.
That's a good point. Yeah. So this is the time where, you know, you're on your computer, maybe you're making sushi, maybe you're getting ready for dinner, maybe your parents are watching football. This is where you go tell everyone to come watch because this is the ace match of Journey versus Hydra. This is the Team Gravity fight night, of course, sponsored by Hitbox.tv. Again, huge thanks to Hitbox.tv for allowing this and making this happen. Their website is awesome. You can post GIFs in the chat. It's very smooth, very silky, I think, interface, very easy to navigate. Really liking Hitbox.tv. Of course, my name is Axel Toss, joined by Fear Dragon. And I want to thank you all for watching and hanging out. And if you enjoy, again, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. And you can follow us too if you like our stuff. I'm on Twitter at Axel Toss. And all the other, just Google and you can find all the stuff I do. YouTube as well. Fear Dragon has got stuff too. I think.
Yeah. Fear Dragon 64 for all of my stuff, but most importantly, guys, if you I want to emphasize this, if you want to see more Team Gravity Fight Nights, if you want to see more stuff like Journey versus Hydra, QXC versus Puck, Kane versus Hearthstone, you gotta support the actual Team Gravity Fight Nights, and you can do that by following the channel, telling other people that you know what these awesome matches are happening every single week for hosted by Team Gravity and sponsored by Hitbox. Go check them out. Go get other people to go watch these show matches, and you know what? That's how we end up seeing more of these awesome matches, and that's how we end up seeing more players showing these awesome ace match games that we seem to keep getting into.
Love it.
And I think
Loving
that
it. Also,
we did switch
I wanna
over.
do-
Okay.
Yeah, I switched
Go
over.
ahead.
I want to give a big shout out to my favorite person in the world. He's awesome. He's handsome. He's eloquent. His hands are steadier than a brain surgeon. Martin, who is doing our observing, and who is doing our stream producing. responsible for everything that's happening. So huge shout out to him. If
Yeah.
give some hearts in chat for everyone
Also,
involved because this is awesome.
yeah, exactly. Also, I want to note, I think that we had like a little bit of a misdone poll, but there is actually a poll in the chat right
Oh.
now. I think that it did like I think
Is it
someone
is it
like
is it
started
like a
and
ski
immediately stopped
pole?
it.
Is it a ski pole or a flag pole? I'm confused.
It's actually like a snowboarding poll, actually. If you've
Oh,
ever seen that. Yeah. Because you know how those go.
right.
But
So
I think that okay, it's been corrected. It's now open. Someone had immediately started it and then immediately ended it. But now you can go ahead and vote. Who do you think is going to win, Journey or versus Hydra? This is one of the really cool features of Hitbox, just to kind of highlight that a little bit. It's not just GIFs, guys. And one last thing that I'll also say that's really cool about Hitbox, I recommend you see that kind of whole area down below the video. Try scrolling down and see what happens to the video that actually is being played. It's pretty slick, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty slick. But Axel Sauce, take it away with those player introductions, man.
oh
I
wow.
want to know
Okay, I
who's
will.
playing.
Yeah, I can do that. In the top left-hand location, he is amazing at StarCraft 2 and has a star. I think it's the StarCraft star logo right next to that
Oh,
command.
yeah.
He is on the journey himself. Journey. Journey. Of course, who's he playing there, Fear Dragon?
Well, since you asked Axel Toss, he is playing the Zerg player in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, representing Team Root Gaming at Root for Root. It is Root Gaming's Hydra.
Hydra. Yeah.
And do we have
It's the ace match. They're tied 3-3.
Yeah.
At this point, if you know, they've been staring at each other for a long time, trying to figure each other out. And at this point, they probably have a really good read on their opponent. So we'll see what happens here. I'm always the guy who thinks in the ace match, playing as safe as possible is probably the best policy. But I think a certain handsome Zerg individual proved me wrong in the last match by the name of Kane. When he did not play safe, he went for a Zerg rush thing with roaches and stuff, I think. And it did very well. So that leads to the inevitable and obvious, important, looming question of what decisions are going to be made here. Are we going to see cheesy strats, or are we going to see macro-based play?
That's the question on everyone's mind right now, Axel Toss. And Hydra going for the gas geyser, so does have some options available to him, but for now he's going to have to deal with that Reaper Scout from Journey. And, you know, one thing I really like about what Journey's doing right now is he's doing something similar to what he was doing on that Catalina game. He's not just stopping at one Reaper, he's going up to the second Reaper. I would love to see the third Reaper come out, because that was one of the things that really, again, like it was the first time in the entire series that Journey really sees control of any game, is with that Reaper control. And look at that, he's already managed to get a drone kill, Hydra, just barely kind of missing the timing on making that drone a Spore Caller or a Spine.
There's a lot of lings coming out. I think he's making eight lings in total. I think he has intentions of. Oh yeah, he is sending a couple across the map. Again, the idea there is to kill the SCV, making the command center. And if in an ideal world, it's awesome if you can force the cancel on the command center.
Oh,
so
I don't think this is gonna work out though. There's a third Reaper coming out, and the third Reaper is gonna pop out at exactly the perfect time. It's gonna be able to turn around and deal with the Zergans as soon as he realizes that the Zergans are there. Yep, there he goes.
And then, well, yeah, Journey's playing this pretty well. He's got the Reaper defending against the lings.
Oh,
was it in this series he canceled it? He had to cancel it a little bit. Was that like game 2?
yeah, that was oh man, that was the game on Merry-Go-Round, I think, right? No. No, that was Catalina. That was Catalina. No, it wasn't. I have no idea. No, that was Catalina. I remember now. Axel Toss, it's all coming back to me. Catalina, it was the same game that he actually went for the same opening. It was the 3 Reaper opening, and it opened up with him losing that CC. He had to cancel it, and it was really frustrating. It looked like, you know, he's going to be suffering a little bit, but he managed to make the big comeback and really take a strong lead in the game.
That was hilarious, like witnessing your thought process.
That's
It's
actually
like,
what
oh,
most of my thought process is. That's actually what it normally is like. I'm just really good at covering it up.
That's awesome. But yeah, so he's not forced to cancel the command center. The Reaper's still available. I'm not sure why he's not across the map with 3 Reapers and 2 Aliens right now. He's
I
staying at
think
home
he's
for the
gearing up for the Hellbat push, because we got the armory dropping down right now, as well as the 3rd CC.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that.
No
Tenling's on the way.
So it doesn't, yeah. Not going to be a drop. Actually, with the Reapers alive as well, you mix in the Reapers with the Hellions as they move across the map, and then they transform into Hellbats and protect those Reapers. Oh my god. This is actually going to be really, really scary. Because the armory's finished.
Okay, here we go. A lot of Lings on the way. Patrolling to the left for some reason. Okay, he's trying to do a bit of a counterattack. Doing some damage to this hatchery on the right-hand side. Just tickling it a little bit. Nothing to be terribly afraid of from Hydra. Now, the Queen desperately trying to take down those rocks. Very angry with those rocks. But meanwhile, we have Banelings being formed on the left-hand side of the map.
That's a lot of Banelings. Oh my god, he's going up to 14 Banelings. That could actually be enough to just go straight onto that natural command center if Journey's not paying attention and doesn't lift off in time. But the Hellbats are now morphed in, and he goes into that form, takes out a lot of these Zerglings, could do a lot of damage over here. The Baneling's actually not being controlled right now because he's too busy trying to figure out how to handle these Hellbats.
Gosh. Hellbats taking down one drone. The drones, again, you got to keep those alive. Those are your VIPs. This is your most important unit. Do not engage the Hellbats. Do not engage the Hellbats. The drones need to stay alive. Okay.
Oh no! Oh, no, drones!
Playing with fire, literally. Let's go play with fire.
Literally.
Okay.
Alright. Hydra's handled that. He's gonna move in with the Banelings. I feel like he missed a bit of an opportunity to move in during that aggression, but I guess, you know, if you are a little bit or I guess busy dealing with the aggression, you gotta deal with that first. Bunker immediately goes down. He's gonna be able to go for the Spidey for one as well.
He wants to kill SCVs. That's his main goal here. Killing buildings with the Banelings is all fun and dandy and all, but you want to get those workers. You want to get those SCVs. That is what will put you ahead. Again, any newer players out there, going after your opponent's economy is what you is if that's your sole focus in the game, that is perfectly fine. You know, you are playing StarCraft 2 right, in my opinion, because the more you take out your opponent's economy, the less money your opponent's going to have, the less stuff they can make. Of course, in the meantime, hopefully you're keeping control of your own economy. But,
yeah,
you know, overall, I think that was pretty darn good for Hydra.
I agree, but you know, I will say that I think that to some extent, Journey is sort of stabilized. I mean, he is on 3 CC, so can reproduce those SCVs relatively quickly, and he's actually not that far behind. Hydra's got to morph in a couple more Banelings to try and break down this wall in again, because there aren't that many SCVs on the low ground. Hellions can probably actually deal with these Zerglings, though. They're in large numbers.
Well, all the Banelings got taken out there. Yeah, and I don't think there's any chance these Zerglings do too much damage here. The Hellion's going to be retreating back. And, well, 1-1's about to finish for Journey. 53 to 75. Guys, remember, this is the ace match, so every single action is very important here. Look at the income really quick.
And Stim is actually already finished up. Yeah, Stim is finished up. 1-1 is finished up. Some add-ons are still being put onto those barracks, but with the 3rd CC also being taken, I feel like Journey is going to be able to get up a very scary army and go for a really scary push out across the map. And Hydra's got to make this choice where he's going to say, I got to drone up right now, but what do I do about this big Stim Marine Hellion push that's going to eventually come out? Marine Hellbat push, actually.
Well, that's a great pickoff from Journey. Able to take down all those Banelings. Hydra was hoping to be very stealthy with those guys. I don't know. Hydra can't really be aggressive here. I don't think it's possible. There's too many Hellions, too many Marines. Yeah. But he's investing all of his resources in units. All of his resources are into units right now. Trying to trap those Hellions.
Has to make damage happen. Oh, just barely misses it. They slip out, filled with grease, covered with grease and butter. But
against these Lings and Banelings. Hydra is pouring everything into this. This has to work. This is pretty much, you know, all in. It is pretty much. Well, he has 44 harvesters. He can pull back from this, but he's not relenting with the pressure. He has the gas pedal completely impressed, and Journey is handling it decently. So we're still, you know, this game will go on, even though we like literally the last 2-3 minutes have been nothing but Lings and Banelings being made.
I mean, but the problem right now, Alex, I feel, is that you look at back at home at Hydra, Lair Tech just starting. It's 14 minutes in and Lair Tech is starting. Evolution Chambers just being thrown down. Just now taking his second gas geyser, or sorry, third gas geyser. Hydra is very much in, I want to say, an almost all-in-ish position. He has to make more than just some damage happen. I feel like he's really got to just burst in and devastate Journey.
And that's what he's going to try to do. The Banelings and Lings surging forward, trying to get those solid connections. I think Journey's going to be fine, though. He's going to be fine. He has so many units. He's got the Medivacs out, too, and 2-2's on the way. I think Hydra's just pouring so much of his resources into these Lings and Banelings, and he's only just now started 1-1. I feel like Hydra thought he had an advantage, or he thought he sensed a vulnerability, and he's just trying to apply this relentless pressure onto his opponent. But it's just not. It just hasn't been worth it for him. I mean, he's made so many Lings and Banelings. Units lost 94-75 to 55-13 in favor of Journey. So it's certainly,
gotta agree.
It's not going Hydra's way right now. Now he's gonna have to fall back, only looking for engagements on creep. But I do feel like a 2-2 timing should be inevitable. Okay, he's gonna drop some Hellbats first, and he's not really coming across the map, so he's still scared about the Lings and Banelings. So I don't think Journey really understands his position right now and how much Hydra has been investing into those attacks. So Journey's playing pretty passively, only dropping right now, which is a good thing for Hydra. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, maybe he's still just waiting for that +2 armor to finish up. He does get out of there with most of the Hellbats, only loses one of them, and he's still making a handful of those units. So, you know what? I don't hate it too much if he does just wait an extra like 15-20 seconds and then go for the big push out, as it looks like he may be doing now. Finally,
right there he goes.
Maybe there you go.
Yep, he's doing it certainly, and this can be very strong. Whoa, that's cool. We got Banelings countering. Trying to turn down this SCPs. Oh, no.
Oh, gets an okay amount, but I'm almost more concerned about the attack, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's
not
good.
just the economy.
You should be. Hydra should be too. I mean, right now his Zerglings are attacking across the map, so he's pretty much like pseudo base trading. He doesn't really have anything to deal with the army that Journey has, and there's the GG. Journey takes it. Journey